Let me tell you something that's going to bother you the next time you spray on your favorite perfume. The average designer fragrance you bought at the department store cost you $80, $90, sometimes $120. It has been quietly reformulated at least once in the last 15 years. The International Fragrance Association, the IFRA, has restricted or banned over 180 ingredients since the early 2000s. The bottle sitting on your dresser right now is almost certainly weaker than the version your mother or your aunt wore back in the 1980s or 1990s. That's not a conspiracy, that's documented. And here's the part that's gonna sting a little. While the luxury houses were quietly stripping oak moss, civet, and real sandalwood out of their classics to comply with regulations and cut costs, the drugstore aisle at your local CVS, Walgreens, and Walmart became a hidden goldmine for fragrance fans who actually pay attention. There are products sitting on those shelves right now, every single one under $5. That can make any perfume, cheap or expensive, last from breakfast until well past dinner, not because they're magic, because they understand something about skin chemistry that the people selling you the $100 bottle would rather you never figure out. Why does your expensive perfume vanish in 2 hours while your grandmother's old bottle of Youth Dew could perfume an entire elevator for half a day? Why do reviewers on Fragrantica keep voting longevity scores of 3 out of 10 on fragrances that cost as much as a car payment? And why does the industry stay so quiet about the cheap drugstore tricks that fix the problem in seconds? Because every time your scent fades by lunchtime, you reach for the bottle again. You burn through it faster. You buy another one sooner. That's the business model. So today I'm walking you through 9 drugstore buys, every one of them under $5. That fragrance lovers on Reddit, Base Notes, and Fragrantica have been quietly recommending for years. These are the products that turn a 2-hour spray into an all-day scent trail. And the last one on the list, number 1, is the single cheapest item in this entire video. And it's the one perfumers genuinely do not want casual buyers to find out about, because it makes the difference between a $5 body spray and a $100 eau de parfum almost impossible to tell apart on skin. Number 9. Plain, unscented Vaseline petroleum jelly. The little blue tub, the one you've seen at every drugstore since you were a kid, usually sitting on the shelf for somewhere between $2 and $4 depending on the size. Here's what's happening on a chemical level, and this is the part the sales associates at the fragrance counter never explain. Perfume is a mixture of aromatic oils suspended in alcohol. When you spray it on bare, dry skin, the alcohol evaporates almost instantly, and it takes a huge chunk of those top notes with it. What's left behind has to cling to whatever moisture and oil naturally exists on your skin, and if your skin is dry, there's nothing to hold on to. The fragrance just lifts off and disappears. Petroleum jelly is what perfume fans on our fragrance call an occlusive. It creates a thin, non-porous layer on the skin that traps the aromatic molecules and slows down their evaporation dramatically. Users on Reddit have been testing this for over a decade, and the consensus is consistent. A small dab of Vaseline on the pulse points before spraying can extend the life of almost any fragrance by 2 to 4 hours. Not a marketing claim, an observation repeated across thousands of comments. Apply a thin layer to your wrists, the base of your neck, behind the ears, then spray your perfume directly on top. The scent locks in. This is a verifiable physical effect, not a myth, and it costs you about $3 for a tub that will last you a year. Number 8. Drugstore unscented body lotion. Brands like Jergens Ultra Healing, CeraVe Daily Moisturizing Lotion in the small travel size, the basic Vaseline Intensive Care unscented bottle all clock in under $5 at full size, and the travel sizes are even cheaper. The principle is the same as the petroleum jelly, but it spreads easier and works over larger areas like the chest and the inside of the forearms. Moisturized skin holds fragrance significantly longer than dry skin. This is one of the few tips that the fragrance industry actually does mention, though usually buried in the fine print of a department store brochure because they'd rather sell you their own matching body lotion for $40. The drugstore version does the exact same job. The key word here is unscented. A scented lotion will fight with your perfume and muddy the top notes. Stick to plain, fragrance-free, and apply it right after a shower while your skin is still slightly damp. Then spray. Fragrantica users report longevity gains of anywhere from 1 to 3 hours just from this single change. Now, before I keep going, because I want you to get the full value out of the rest of this list, especially the top 3, do me one small favor. If you've ever bought a perfume that promised 8 hours of wear and gave you 90 minutes, hit that subscribe button. The next videos I'm putting out break down exactly which designer bottles are quietly underperforming and which $5 drugstore scents are outlasting them on real skin. And while you're down there, drop a comment and tell me which perfume disappears on you the fastest. I read them, and I'm building the next video around the bottles you all mention most. Also, take a guess in the comments right now which product you think is going to be number 1 on this list. Almost nobody gets it right, and the people who do are usually the ones who've been collecting fragrances for 20 years. Number 7. Solid unscented deodorant sticks, specifically the basic Dover Degree unscented versions, which run about $3 to $4. This is a trick that comes straight out of the Bossa Notes forums, and it's one of the smartest applications I've come across. You take the deodorant stick and you swipe a thin layer on the pulse points, the inside of the wrists, behind the ears, on the chest, then spray your fragrance on top. The waxy base of the deodorant acts almost identically to petroleum jelly, creating a sticky layer that grips the perfume molecules. The added benefit is that deodorant sticks are designed to resist sweat, so the fragrance holds up better in heat and humidity. People in warmer climates swear by this one. It also doesn't leave the greasy feel that Vaseline can leave behind, which is why a lot of men in particular prefer this method. The trick is making sure it's the unscented version, because a scented deodorant will completely throw off your perfume's pyramid. Number 6. Plain, cheap hairspray. Not the salon stuff, the basic Aquanet or Suave aerosol cans you can grab for under $3. Here's the technique, and it comes from old school perfume counter ladies from the 1970s and 1980s. You spray your perfume into the air, then you spray a light mist of unscented, very lightly scented hairspray over the same cloud, and you walk through it. The hairspray contains polymers that act as fixatives, locking the fragrance molecules to your hair and clothes, where they hold for hours longer than skin alone. Hair specifically holds fragrance better than almost any other surface on your body, because each strand is porous and your scalp's natural oils anchor it. This is verifiable. Perfumists have known for decades that hair retains scent for up to 24 hours in some cases. A quick mist of hairspray after applying your perfume to the ends of your hair, never the scalp, extends sillage dramatically. Just don't overdo it, and never spray hairspray directly onto perfume on your skin, because the alcohol content in both can be drying. Number 5. Plain, alcohol-free baby oil or a generic mineral oil. A bottle of Johnson's baby oil runs about $4, and the generic store brand is closer to $2. You apply a few drops to your skin before your fragrance, and the oil acts as a long-term anchor. The aromatic molecules in perfume are oil-soluble, which means they bind to oil far better than they bind to water or dry skin. This is why people with naturally oily skin have always reported that fragrance lasts longer on them. You're essentially mimicking that condition. Reddit users in our fragrance have run side-by-side tests, one wrist plain, one wrist primed with baby oil. The oiled wrist consistently outlasts the dry one by 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more depending on the perfume. The trick is using a tiny amount, because too much oil can dilute the top notes and make the fragrance smell muddier in the first 30 minutes. Number 4. Plain cotton balls or cotton pads. The basic CVS or Walgreens store brand, usually around $2 for a bag of 100. The trick is this. You spray your perfume on a cotton ball or pad, then you tuck it inside your bra, your pocket, your jacket lining, or even into your hair if it's long enough to hide. The cotton holds the fragrance for the entire day, slowly releasing it as you move. Unlike skin, which absorbs and metabolizes the scent, cotton just holds on to it. This is also a favorite trick of vintage perfume collectors who own reformulated classics and want to recreate the projection of the original. They'll spray a cotton ball generously, tuck it into a scarf or a pocket, walk around with a scent trail that mimics the way perfumes used to project before IFRA restrictions tamed everything down. Total cost. Less than a cent per use. Number 3. Plain unscented Vaseline lip balm or any drugstore unscented lip balm in the tube, like the basic chapstick original, around $2. The waxy formula is actually one of the most efficient fragrance anchors you can buy because it's designed to stay put on skin for hours. You swipe it on your wrist or behind your ear like you would lipstick, just a thin streak, then spray your perfume directly over it. The wax creates a long-lasting grip that outperforms even body lotion in many side-by-side tests posted on Base Notes. The portability is the killer feature here. You can carry the tube in your pocket and reapply at lunch without anyone knowing what you're doing. Fragrance reviewers have called this the most discreet longevity hack in the entire drugstore. Number 2. Plain glycerin. The small bottle you find in the first aid or skincare aisle, usually around $3 to $4. Glycerin is a humectant, which means it pulls moisture from the air and holds it against your skin. mixed with a tiny amount of distilled water in a spray bottle and misted lightly on the skin before perfume. It creates a hydrated, slightly tacky surface that grips fragrance molecules like nothing else in the drugstore. This is the trick that perfume layering enthusiasts on Fragrantica have been quietly sharing for years. It's especially powerful for reviving older bottles of classics that have lost some of their original punch due to reformulation. A modern bottle of Chanel Coco Mademoiselle, Dior Sauvage, or YSL Black Opium, sprayed over a glycerin-primed skin, performs noticeably closer to the way the original formulations used to project. Not magic, just chemistry. And about $3 at any pharmacy. Now, before I give you number one, here's the truth about everything you just heard. The luxury fragrance industry made over $50 billion in global sales last year. A meaningful chunk of that revenue depends on you running out of perfume faster than you should. Every reformulation that weakened a classic, every regulation that stripped out long-lasting ingredients, every marketing campaign that told you fragrance is supposed to be a fleeting, intimate experience, all of it pushes you toward the counter sooner. The drugstore tricks in this video are not new. Perfumists have known about them for over a century. They just stopped being talked about because there's no margin in telling you that a $3 tub of Vaseline outperforms a $40 branded primer. Number one, plain unscented Aquaphor or generic petroleum and lanolin healing ointment, the small travel tube, which costs anywhere from $2 to $4 at every drugstore in America. The reason this beats every other product on this list is the lanolin. Lanolin is an animal-derived wax extracted from sheep's wool, and it has a molecular structure almost identical to human skin sebum. That means it doesn't just sit on top of the skin like Vaseline. It actually integrates with your skin's natural oils and creates a long-lasting, semi-permeable layer that holds fragrance for 6, 8, sometimes 10 hours longer than bare skin. Vintage perfume collectors who own decades-old bottles use this exact trick to make reformulated modern versions project the way the originals did. People on Bossa Notes who have tested it against every primer on the market consistently rank Aquaphor. Its generic equivalence as the single most effective fragrance fixative you can buy in any drugstore. The application is simple. A tiny amount, about the size of a grain of rice, on each pulse point. Rub it in until it's nearly invisible. Then spray your perfume directly on top. Cheap eau de toilettes start performing like eau de parfums. Eau de parfums start performing like vintage extraits. And nobody at the counter is going to tell you this because if you knew, you'd buy half as much perfume and it would still smell stronger. So here's what I want you to do. Pick one of these 9, the cheapest one, the one already sitting in your bathroom, and try it tomorrow morning with whatever fragrance you usually wear. Spray one wrist the way you always do, prime the other wrist with the product, and see for yourself how long each one lasts. Then come back to this video and tell me in the comments which one worked best for you. I'm putting together the next video on the 7 drugstore perfumes under $15 that are genuinely outperforming designer bottles on Fragrantica longevity scores right now. And I want to know which of these tricks you want me to test on them. Subscribe so you don't miss it. The number one cheap perfume on that next list is one that almost everyone has walked past 100 times and never picked up. And once you smell it primed with Aquaphor, you might never spend $90 on a department store bottle again.